I think it's far from a secret that Minecraft is like my favorite game ever. MCG, what do you think MC stands for? You feel me? But there's levels to this. I've been playing Minecraft with like one group of friends for like 5 years. And we've been through a bunch of different worlds. And I've always wanted to make this video. I just want to go through all the worlds and kind of like see what's up, you know? So I'm going to let all of my friends introduce themselves, and then I'm going to show some of the Minecraft clips that we've accumulated throughout the years.
Hello, I'm Sean.
I'm David.
Hello, my name is Calvin. I wonder when you guys will be able to tell which one's mine.
David, look out!
You know what, let me just...
No, say that you yourself.
He's whipping me!
I had one Japanese-inspired house at my little...
David, we've...
Oh shit, wrong thing! Wrong thing!
From there.
Forward, just straight forward.
Leave me alone.
You have a chance to knock him off.
Alright, so let's just like do it. The first Minecraft world that we all played on together was dubbed the OG SMP. So all of it, every single world we're going to talk about, it all started right there, right on that block. So low-key a beautiful world. I'm kind of reminiscing right now. This was kind of an ugly ass house, I won't lie. But was all of it sunshine and rainbows? Yeah, actually. Kidding, this is what 95% of it looked like. Yeah, it was a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. But when we started, it wasn't that bad. Like, we all had our own houses. I started with this little house in a ravine. I actually really like this place. Sean made a house in a village, which by the end of the world had definitely seen better days. And David made this little hobbit hole, which also could have seen better days. Calvin had a nice little thing, though. Yeah, I mean, it's just a nice little secluded house. Calvin wasn't really in this world that much, so it's probably one of the last times you hear about that. But actually, let's look at that sign real quick. Yeah, Tundrania. Remember that. So our first little conundrum happened inside this UFO, which it looks nice, but I think I'm starting to sense a pattern. So David had a sword he held very dear to him, and an accomplice, a good friend of Sean, actually stole it. And I think you can tell by the scene of the crime, David wasn't too thrilled about that.
Blue Glizzy was my first diamond sword in the OG SMP, and stole it, which caused what I believe was the first like SMP like war.
So me and David were like, yo, Sean, come on, bro. And we're actually at the scene where David murdered Sean's horse for some reason.
I was heated because, like, nothing was even happening, and then he just walks over and murders my horse, and then I try to kill him, and then I get killed because I'm getting tag teamed, just straight up gangbang.
So Sean just like burned the entire village in this fiasco. I'm not gonna lie, the details are a little fuzzy just because this was like 5 years ago, but the village looks like this now, so I'm just gonna use my context clues. Because I assisted David in this crime, I lost someone very dear to me. I actually tried to hide Brody, but my efforts were unfortunately in vain. He was killed. But I didn't even do nothing. I was just there. Like, are we serious? So the hero we lost that day, his name was Bon Quickly, and he was a llama. And matter of fact, I think he's in the studio right now. Maybe we can snag him for an interview. I was minding my own business, and then Brody just came up, and he's like, yo, we gotta put you in this hole to save you. And I'm like, wow, what are you talking about? So he throws me in a box, the little dark hole box, and I can't see anything. You know, I don't even want to talk about it. You know, my team and I actually would just like to issue a little bit of an apology to Bon Quick. We didn't know that was such a sensitive subject. We're wishing the best for you and your family, bro. I can't complain too much because this was David's house probably like 15 minutes after Sean's horse died. And on top of that, he got exiled. But it was low-key not even that bad. It was like a little vacation home. Nah, of course, I'm just kidding. That shit got totaled. There's like lore to this, but all you need to know is that me and David were in there for a little bit. I was in there voluntarily, David was not, and then I got nuked. Because of Sean's actions, he actually got exiled too. I don't know what it was with like exiling, but this is where he spent his days for like a while. But because I was such a good friend, and definitely not the reason why he was there, I sent him a little care package just to be nice. Meanwhile, David was cooking up a little town, a little something called Tundrania. So you remember. See, this is important. Listen up. Tundrania was nothing short of a place where people could just express themselves through like art and yeah, freedom of speech. Everybody felt free to talk there. We even had a library. I heard Tundrania was #1 in education in the USM, United States of Minecraft. But we also had sporting events. We pretty much had everything you asked for. Nothing could go wrong. So Sean convinced me to blow it up with him.
The events at Tundrania were pretty rough. You guys had destroyed everything that had happened at the wall, being tricked twice in the matter of like a week. That was a little rough.
So in retaliation, David murdered my villager, so I was like, yo, you know what? I'm just gonna move, bro. So I packed my stuff up, I moved, I don't know, like 2,000 blocks, and built a little civilization here. Pretty cool. So we were like, yo, you know what would make this world even cooler? Let's make YouTube videos. So this axe was important. I'm gonna let my friends explain the plot of the YouTube videos.
Very jumbled, but very fun to make. Oh wait, that's not plot.
You were mining out an area for your lab, and you found this giant, or not giant, you just found this like super powerful axe, and it drove you crazy, and we all just got into a huge fight about who should have it and who should use it.
The best way I can describe it is I found this axe, and it was like all powerful, and we're like, yo, so who should have, like, David was pretty spot on. And so then we ended up fighting over it, and then there was a whole, like, government thing that we did. Everybody ended up dying at the end, and then we, like, did, like, some time travel stuff. It was weird, but it was very fun, and that was kind of the end of that world. We kind of stopped being friends, which sounds weird, but we became friends again later. But we took a little sabbatical for hilarious reasons, but reasons I will not discuss publicly. Alright, the next one we had was like, oh man, like 8 months after the first one. And it was named after Woody from Toy Story. It's called the Woody SMP. So loading into this bad boy, you're thinking, it looks nice. If you're gonna match the old one, this is a good start, but, you know. So this was my base. I actually was pretty darn proud of this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, look at it, bro. You got like the different levels and stuff, and there's like my house there. Oh, and then back there, you can see my anti-goose sign. Not a big fan of those. And you can see my big hole right there. Pause. Along the way, I lost some friends. Not really friends. I mean, it's a Minecraft forest. Like, but my dog, though, that was a problem. When my dog died, we low-key stopped playing this world. I'll get to that in a little bit, but that was not cool. Sean had a nice little house. It was actually pretty good. It's probably one of his better houses that he's built. It's really far away. But Calvin always has, like, banger houses. This is just one of many, you know, get ready. Calvin is a W builder, I'll tell you that much. As for David, I don't remember where he lived, but this is one of his houses that got blown up. Really, the only lore from this world was that David wanted to make this big village. As you can see all the layouts and stuff. But he was like, yo, nobody else had villagers. And Calvin wasn't very cool with that, I'm gonna be honest.
I thought that keeping all the villagers, you know, I'd have all the enchantment books, I'd have all the trades and everything. That I thought that would kind of give me the power of that world. So I locked them all away. Kind of just kept them all to myself.
He really wanted to have something. I saw his vision with like having a big villager trading system, but he didn't want anybody else to have villagers. I already had villagers at the time, like I'm pretty sure before he got those. So it was a matter of like, well, why do you want me to get rid of my villagers and start paying you all the money for me to get my enchantments?
So the real heavy hitter to this world was that Sean killed my dog. He says it was on accident, but... Alright, so he thought that dogs didn't take fall damage in boats. I don't know. I don't know. So he takes my dog, instead of any other dog, he takes my dog as an example, puts him in a boat, and rides off into my big ass mine I had, and my dog just dies. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
I wholeheartedly thought that if you're in a boat, you don't take fall damage. Because I saw a cat on TikTok fall down in a boat, but I forgot that cats don't take fall damage in general.
And the boat is still there today. Alright, let's go to the next one. So Sean and David were not in this world, but we had another friend named Kemper, and he was in it. So it was me, Kemper, and Calvin, and this world was called Luke Skywalker Survival. This bad boy was a short one. This one only had me and Calvin and Kemper too. And it was very jam-packed. It was very crowded. Everything was right next to each other. My base was just floating circles. We had a copper town. We had a mushroom forest. Calvin had this like Ewok tree thing. He actually does this a lot. It's a very cool build. We had Kemper's house, the big Georgie sign in the sky. It just makes sense. Then we had this house. You're going to be seeing this house again. Make a note of it. And to cap it off, we had the Luke Skywalker statue. Because it's called Luke Skywalker. I mean, come on now.
You know, we just had a lot of fun on that world. And overall, I think out of like all the survivor worlds that, you know, I've been in, that was probably the most unique one.
So then Sean and David became friends again. Awesome. So we all started a new one, Reese Pieces Isn't Beaten. This was a great one. It's one of our favorites. It is a great world. You're about to see why. And keep an eye out for that house. This is our final world. Well, it's not our final world, but it's like pretty much our final world. And don't forget that house. That's going to be important later. This world had like just about everything. It lasted for the same time as the first one. It was just goated. I mean, look at this. Like, actually look, this is goated. So this was my base. I lived on just like a random area in the water. Actually that oil rig was pretty cool. But what I was building was literally the entire Earth, bro. Like, it was goated. I didn't finish it, but speaking of not finishing, pause. I thought this was cool. I liked it. It was one of my favorite builds. This was Calvin's base. You can see the jungle trees over there. I mean, he always had, like, just, like, good bases, you know? This was Sean's. Not the house itself, but the area. Remember it. We'll be back. This was David's base. It had a little underground part and had the nether portal. Alright, wait, hold up. This base wasn't even bad. Shout out David, bruh. Okay, so this was a town called Albania. Almost like everything happened here. But this was, like, the first thing to happen.
The plan of Reese's Species was you and me were going to pretty much stage this whole fight, and we would end up killing Calvin and Sean and setting them back a little bit.
Right in this very spot, Sean requested a restraining order against Kemper, which actually turned out to be for all of us, because this was the last time Kemper was in the world, unfortunately. Alright, so this house, like, we talked about it before, it looks all nice and pretty, right? But then you go under here and get through the annoying ass sand, and there's a little bit of a crater underneath. Why? Good question.
So I communicated with Joey and David that I would be taking, or I communicated with David that I would be taking half of everything inside of Calvin's house, and then he miscommunicated Joey and said I would be taking everything, and then Joey and David both told Calvin I'd be taking everything and convinced him to take everything and then blow the house up.
Also, this was my secret base. None of my friends ever knew about it. It was under a dark oak forest, and we're never going to play this again, so here it is.
This was my goat, Carl the cow. Unfortunately, he died in battle.
We low-key had a little bit of an economy going on here, you know? We had all, like, the businesses and stuff, but there was actually a little bit, like, of an evil business going on back here. You see, it's a cute little home, but when you go underneath, they're selling potions. It's a metaphor. They're selling potions.
We would make potions pretty much, and we performed these acts. We'd make
This was our other town, Nickelville. Not a lot got built there, except for, I don't know, that ugly house. This was my town. This was kind of like my pride and joy. I really liked it. There was just like the nice, like, homey-feely tents. But then there was also like a little villager thing down there. I mean, nothing ever came of it, but I built it. So David actually got exiled for the plan and was sent here. This used to be a prison before Sean, like, Miasified it. But David spent, like, actual, like, probably like a month of, like, real life time living here.
It was a big island, and I thought that since I was moving Reese Pieces, I might as well just go move out there and mine under it. I had like a whole villager thing going on underneath it, and yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of just, it was a cool looking island.
that world came to a close. We didn't really like feel like playing Minecraft anymore, so we just stopped playing. We had another world for like a month, but like nothing happened. I made a cool house. Here it is. So we took a little while after that, and then we made a new world. And actually, we're still playing that world. It's been, oh boy, what? Just a little over a year and a half. And I would love to show that world once it's done, but we're still working on it. But as far as I'm concerned, that'll about do it. I actually had a lot of fun making this, so thank you for your time. I can't remember, like, when I used to make YouTube videos, if I had, like, a catchphrase at the end. I feel like I did. I'm gonna go look. Oh, wait, I remember. I don't remember. I found it. Okay, ready? See you on the flip side.